All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What is going on, SHIPIT Nation YouTube station? We are back with another edition of the MLB video. It is Friday. It is August 30th. We had college football last night, which was amazing to see. We got my boy BJ in the house today for Nades. Nades is somewhere on the beach probably doing stuff that Nades does on the weekends, but happy to have BJ in here to talk some baseball with us today. We certainly appreciate it. Let's say hello to everybody in the chat. As always, Michael W., what's going on? My guy Ben's in here. Per usual, Parabay, what's going on, Parabay? Sean Rooney, Deacon, Gilbert, Casey Henry, Carmen, what's going on, Carmen? No Stop Symmetry. There's my guy, Tolga, Parabay again, Oakland A's for the money. BJ, those West Coasters, man, they've been putting up 9, 10, 11 runs against the Reds. Those Oakland A's are, man, they're rolling. How's your Friday going? How's your week going? What's been going on with you?
Oh, nothing. Like I said, just trying to squeeze in some golf. We had a good day yesterday in the streets on the early slate. Not so much in the late slate, but that's okay. Ready to talk some shop on Friday and get this weekend rolling. Yeah,
should be good. My guy Pojen Stoner, always in the house. It's bong rip season for him out there in Colorado. But yeah, we certainly appreciate you tuning in. I think it's a 10-game slate on both sites, so that's very nice. Hey, we're super excited for NFL season coming up. We had 2 Millie Maker winners last year, several 6K winners over here. And if you aren't a member over at SHIPIT Nation, head on over, enter the promo code NFL50. That will get you $50 off anything. And before we do that, we're going to play a nice little video for you to get you pumped up. I'm super excited about it. BJ said it earlier. We got some killers over here in the NFL. I mean, there's nobody better than Hoop, in my opinion, out there. Then throw in Tambo. Throw in my guy Nade's title. We got our guy Jerry, this time Scarface, so looking forward to it. We'll be back in about a minute and a half.
Obviously, I'm a part of the SHIPIT Nation community. I enjoy the Discord. Get a lot of information out of the Discord, and then I use the site, so all the slate plans, slate info, all that, the DVP stuff. I would say join a site because they do help and you get all the information and it saves you so much time.
Oh man, that was awesome. Yeah, what would it be like for you, BJ? What would it be? It would be about 5 o'clock at night if you looked up in your DK app and you saw a 1 with 6 zeros after it. How do you think that would feel?
Oh man, let me tell you, it would be some. That's why you play, right? We're top heavy and doing that, and I mean, even just regular nights where you're able to win, a nice chunk of money or just finish first in some smaller tournaments. That alone is enough. So probably, one of those feelings that, you only the few people get to feel. So we're chasing it. We all want it. And we're going to have plenty of opportunities this year. So let's get after it.
Yeah, a bunch of them every week, week in, week out. But yeah, I know Hoop's done it. We had 2 winners last year. My biggest hits for 100K. And I think I was walking on air for like 3 weeks after that. So yeah, 10X that. Yeah, that's why we play, right? We all want to hit that milli. That's life-changing money, I would say, for 99.9% of America. But yeah, no, that's awesome. That's a great video. Video was great. Yeah, thanks, Parabay. Tolga said he'd shit his pants. I don't know if I would do that, but yeah, I would do something close to that. But Yeah, looking forward to it, man. That's a great NFL season. I'm really pumped up. It starts Thursday. It's crazy. We're under 6 days away. I saw where no Hollywood on Thursday. Hollywood Brown's been rolled out against his former team. But anyway, hey, this is a baseball show. We're going to talk baseball. No better mind over here at the Nation than my guy BJ. We're going to go pitching like we always do. We're going to do DraftKings, 10 games over there. Got to have 2 pitchers. So BJ, we're going to need to try to find the best 2 pitchers on the slate. Let's start 8K and above. And I know we talked a little bit pre-show. Once you get below 8K, there's one guy that I think is going to be played a lot. Outside of that, there's not going to be much. But talk to me about this range. Ben Lively all the way up to what I think is going to be uber chalk in Blake Snell.
Yeah, no. Before I jump in, for some reason I got a little connection. So if I kind of skip out, let me know. I don't know what it is when I do shows with you. My connection's good, and then all of a sudden I'm hopping in and it's a little sketchy. So if you hear anything, let me know.
Hold on 1 second. Time out. What happened? What I miss, DJ?
It wasn't like that. It was the 153 max. So I've been kind of chasing that on
10K, 20K.
No, it was like 3. So, but it doesn't matter. I finished twice, 2 times. Well, 1 time in second, 1 time in third. But as long as you get first, that's what it was all about. I don't care what the jump is. I just wanted to get on the top.
Yeah.
Snuck in a ticket. So it was funny.
Nice.
Yeah, it was small 100, but I was telling Nades last night. For the last couple weeks, I've been chasing that 4-4-4-4 on DK, and yesterday was like the first day I didn't give that a rip for the 176. And you know how it works. It's like blackjack or DFS. When you lower your bet, it's coming in hot. So felt like that, but hey, just happy to get a win underneath the belt. So for my season goals, all I got to do is ship the 254 max now. That's it. We haven't been as close in that one, but it's on the list. So we'll give it a rip next month before the season ends. But
all right. Well, sorry to really interrupt you. We're talking pitchers. I got excited. Hey, anytime you can win. Hey, we do this game and you think you got it, and it's tough to get dubbed. It's just tough to get to the top, ping pong your way up there. But anyway, go ahead. Give me these pitchers up here, 8K and above.
Yeah, no. So it's pretty straightforward in my opinion. We have some bats we want to get to, so it makes some of these pitchers really tough to get. But to go down the line, I don't know if it'll be uber chalk. It's going to be hard to get with some of these bats that are going to be expensive. But Blake Snell versus the Marlins, he's got a fantastic park. If you look back at his games over his last 5 starts, take away the last start, which he got banged up a little bit, but 15, 10, 12 strikeouts, 33% on the year. I think it's kind of you have to obviously think about getting him into a lineup. If he's not on your radar at all, then you're a little bit behind. So he's clear. He's 10-2 on DraftKings. And then after that, the only other guy that I feel really confident in would be Valdez versus the Royals. I was having hitting the ball well over the last 30 days, aside from Sal Perez and Bobby Witt. Those are really the only 2 bats that scare me over the last 30 days. He's 9.5. So those are really the 2 that are at the top of my list. I know they're at top of everybody else's list, but as you go down some of these other guys above 8K, it gets a little sketchy for me. We got Kirby against the Angels, and it's only a $400.
Yeah.
He's been struggling, and he's only $400 less on DraftKings than he is to Blake Snell. So I think that's an obvious, just get your $400 and eat some chalk that way. I'll get back to Pablo Lopez because I don't mind him. Gausman against the Twins, he's very average for me. And we know that Twins lineup can score some runs if they string them together. So it's going to be off of my list. I don't want to play anybody versus the Dodgers, and I'm not super confident in Clayton Kershaw. So when you really look down at this list, I'll throw Lugo in there. I don't feel confident versus, kind of your 4 or 5 strikeout kind of guy, versus that Astros team. So for me, as basic and as chalky and as boring as it is, it's Snell and Valdez. And then I don't mind Pablo Lopez, just under 27% strikeout rate for the season. And he gets these Blue Jays, Blue Jays have been hitting the ball well, but I think they might kind of come to reality a little bit. And at 8,600, you can sneak in 18 to 24 DraftKings points. I think you'll be happy with that. When you collect some savings for some bats. So that's kind of where I stand as the top group. Unfortunately, no surprises there.
Yeah. Yeah, no. So I think you don't think Blake's going to be very chalky. I mean, I think uber chalk. We're showing 50% almost in the flagship. You think it'll be lower? Like how much lower than that do you think it'll be?
I would hope so. I mean, that's kind of what, I'm curious what you say and what the chat thinks. There's a lot of bats. I mean, we're going to talk about Coors Field in a little bit. Winds blowing out. We want to get some Yankees in our lineups. And I think, Soto's at 6.6 and Judge is at like 7.2 or some ridiculous number. I don't even mind the Rockies today, which we'll get to, and they're expensive. So you look at some of these teams. I mean, we'll get to the Guardians, Indians, whatever you want to call them. I don't feel comfortable, getting full stacks without Jose Ramirez, and he's expensive. So I think we're going to have some value bats that are going to be super chalky. And when I look at it as a whole, you're kind of like, all right, well, everybody's going to jam in Blake Snell, but then that kind of leaves you, limping with your bats if you, go him and another guy above 8K. So that's why I'm hoping the ownership comes down a little bit. But even if it is your 45, 50%, I mean, realistically versus the Marlins, where can you go wrong? I mean, now I just jinxed it, but this is 10 games and we're going to need to score some points. So that's why I think people might get cute with some of these other names around the 8 to 10K mark.
Yeah, I just looked at our optimal on DK, and I mean you can get Snell, Kirby, 3 Orioles, 2 Mets, and 2 Giants in the optimal right now. So I think Snell's going to be up there. I mean, he's in a great spot. I mean, the kids, what he got, like back-to-back 40 pointers, I think. I know he struggled his last time out, but before that, a 54 and 41. So it was a couple games ago. But I think Blake Snell, he's my favorite pitcher. You didn't mention Seth Lugo, which I mean, rightfully so. I mean, Houston's tough, especially at home. But we're showing him sub 5%. Wouldn't mind him at sub 5%. You might have been kept going down. Did you have any interest in Kershaw or Gallen?
No Gallen. I don't want to mess with the Dodgers. Kershaw, I mean, I don't know. Here's kind of what I'm not the best thought process of like a baseball manager, but I mean, I think these are all just getting ready for the playoffs, obviously. And this is a team that they're going to see most likely. I mean, hopefully, Padres, sneak in there, but I believe this is going to be a matchup if the Diamondbacks get out of the wild card. So I don't know. I mean, his pitch count got up last start, but he hasn't looked great. I think on the season, he's sub 20% strikeout rate. And lefties, versus Diamondbacks, they can get kind of wacky, and they got plenty of batters they could throw at him. So, for his price tag at 85, I just don't feel super confident with, a guy like Pablo Lopez. I'd rather go there for an extra $100 or even Valdez. I mean, it's $1,000 more, but I'm not the biggest fan of going that route.
Yeah, good calls. Let's move down 8K and below. We know there's going to be one guy, I think, once again, uber chalk, if you will. Talk to me a little bit about my boy T. McGill and anybody else down here that you see that you might like.
So that's really where I kind of wanted to discuss a little bit. I mean, realistically, when you look at the list, what is it? It's him, maybe Stroman, but I don't like him. I never like clicking his name. He's 72, which is just cheap enough to think of it. And you got John Gray coming back, but I think he had 2 innings in his last start. And then we're kind of hoping that he gets, his pitch count up to get, kind of back into his 5 innings, 6 innings against the A's. But, we're talking about it. They've been scoring some runs. So I'm kind of at a loss here. I mean, I don't feel good about getting cute with the Suarez at 62 because I like the Rockies. Nobody else is really jumping off for me. I mean, we got the rookie. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Aldagari against the Mariners. I mean, like to target those, but yeah, I don't know how to say that one. But I don't know. I just don't feel super confident in these guys because these are offenses you're going to want to stack against, and on a 10-game slate with some upside up top, it might be close your eyes and play Stroman, close your eyes and Gray, get going, but he's going to be chalky too. So the Miguel and Blake Snell combo is really popular.
Yep, I would agree with you. Rank me your top 4. The only one that I would say, I know you're on the Rockies a little bit, but I'm gonna have me a couple shares of Albert Suarez. I think I know he's not great by any stretch, but Those Rockies, I do like them. Don't get me wrong, but I think if you had to do like a dumpster dive to get in a Soto or a Judge, $6,200 Albert Suarez, I don't think is the worst plays. And I've played much worse plays than him before in my lifetime, BJ, so I don't hate that. But rank your top three and then maybe one off the board, not named Tyler McGill.
Top three down low, not named. I mean,
or no, just top three overall, and then somebody
overall.
not named Tyler McGill that maybe you
yeah.
didn't mention too much about.
We're gonna go Blake Snell, Valdez, Pablo Lopez. We didn't talk about him much, but I'll get to him. I don't mind a Ben Lively. The weather I know is a little bit, toward the hitting side, but 8-1 versus Pittsburgh. And I guess at this kind of level down here, I think you can throw in Stroman, and hopefully he kind of gets you that 15, 20 points in a good quality start.
Yeah. What's going on, Gregory Lynch? Appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you hit that like. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We got me and BJ just got done talking pitching. Great breakdown, as always, by BJ. We're going to move into the games. We're going to do it like we always do it, 10 games. We're going to try to get through here in 30, 35 minutes. Hopefully you stick around. But please hit that like, hit that subscribe. We're moving in on 10,000 subscribers, which is pretty cool to see. Just little over a year old, going to our second NFL season. So looking forward to that. Can't wait to hit 10K subscribers. I can't speak all of a sudden. Let's get into the games. First game up is going to be in the Bronx. It's going to be those Bombers taking on my guy, Fetty Wap, Eric Fetty, against Marcus Stroman. We didn't mention Eric Fetty. We know what the Bronx Bombers can do. Any interest in the Cardinals? That I know you're going to have some interest in the Yankees. So, yeah, full stack, mini stack, or just some one-offs?
For the Yankee side, full stacks. I mean, it can fit. Juan Soto is going to be up there as one of the top plays of the day with me. Fetty's been giving it up to left-handed bats over the last 30 days, especially. Almost a 14% walk rate, striking out under 20%. Giving up 45% hard hits. It's just a spot, back at home that we know, the ball likes to go over there, especially for Aaron Judge. The prices are a little ugly if you look down this. I mean, like I said, Soto's at 66 and Judge is at 72. They even have Stanton priced up at 52 and Jazz at 55. So I wouldn't mind kind of getting weird in some of these stacks and getting some guys like Ben Rice or Verdugo in the 9-hole. But yeah, they overall rank as a unit as one of my favorite stacks of the day. I'd call them 3 or 4. But if you have the money and you can find your pitching that you like, they're obviously up top and in contention. And if we look over to the Cardinal side, I don't really have much. I mean, you could, one off an Arenado, but I don't find much here. I don't like Stroman, like as overall as a DFS pitcher. With the slate and the options that we have today, he kind of has some merit to being played, but I don't feel the best about any of these Cardinals with the amount of games that we have.
Yeah, I would agree with you. The only thing that I'm just looking at the lineup, I like Paul Goldschmidt, Goldie batting 5th. I like that against Stroman. So give me some Paul Goldschmidt. I like him tonight. And then, yeah, I mean, you can play any of these Yankees, except there's one guy on the Yankees you can't play. Do you know who that is, BJ?
No, let's hear it.
Mr. Alex Verdugo. You cannot play him in daily fantasy. One of the worst players, Alex Verdugo, Tim Anderson. That's all I can think of right now. I know Tim Anderson's out, but man, Alex Verdugo's so bad. Do not play Alex Verdugo. We made a bet last Friday on the show, BJ. I said if Alex Verdugo went yard, I would pay somebody's 121 single entry. Lo and behold, he didn't go. He didn't go yard on Friday. He went yard on Saturday. Oh, it was good.
Just
stuff.
how you drew it up, right? Just how you drew it up.
Now they got Verdugo so good. He's batting 9th tonight. 0% chance. Please don't play Alex Verdugo on your teams. Friends, don't let friends play Alex Verdugo.
Well, the jinx here, 3,600 on DraftKings. You know what's coming next.
No,
so.
he ain't doing it tonight. I don't mind watch. Give me some Stanton, Judge, Soto, the big boppers, and then Goldie as a one-off. Good stuff, BJ. Moving on to the next game. Let's see what it is. We got Pittsburgh. We have the Guardians. We have Lively versus Falter. Ooh, I kind of like these Guardians versus Bailey Falter, the southpaw. Ben Lively, talk to me about this. Any one-off for the Pirates? Anybody for the Guardians?
We can start with the Pirates. I mean, It's really just Reynolds and Cruz for me. I mean, over the last 30 days, since McCutcheon's got some more ABs, he's been hitting the ball well. I don't like to play him. He was in my bucket, like you were saying, don't play him a couple years ago. It's funny we're still talking about him. Just one-offs for there. I don't mind Ben Lively. I know the hitting weather is pretty decent, but that kind of leads me to the Guardians side. That's why I like them so much. This is an affordable stack. I think Noel, I can't pronounce his last name. We make jokes about it.
Christmas.
Yeah. There you go. He's going to be popular. I think he's 3,600. I want to get a final answer on that. 3,900 today. He's going to be popular. But when you start to look down this list, I mean, you got Jose Ramirez at 65, but you got Fry, Thomas, Kwan. I mean, all the prices have come down a little bit. Like I said, it's a bump for the weather for bats. So this is going to lead me into a top 5 stack of the day. Because of affordability and hitting weather.
Yeah. Fry, we were all over Fry on Sunday against another lefty. He was like sub 5%. I think he went yard late. I know Noel went yard late as well, but those guys do very well at home versus lefties. Give me these Guardians, especially against Bailey Falter, who is prone to give up the long ball. And O'Neal Cruz, BJ, what if I told you he had a 38% strikeout rate on the road versus righties? Man, this guy can hit the baseball mile, but he's gonna miss it 2/5 every time, 2 out of every 5 swings, which is crazy. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's it. I love that. That is a lot. That is that the biggest percentage in baseball, probably.
It's got to be up there. I don't know for certain, but man, he is a walking strikeout, and he is definitely one. When I play him, he's definitely going 0 for 4, then going 4 for 5 the next night when I don't play him. Super tilting, but hey. That's leaves enough.
Let's see. That lineup just came out now.
Okay.
McCutcheon batting cleanup. Reynolds, Cruz. Really no surprises there. So we're right on.
Yeah, McCutcheon batting cleanup. That's not good. Yeah, Ben Lively's going up. Next up on the slate, we're going to Texas. We're going to John Gray versus JP Sears. We got these Athletics. Lawrence Butler. I think he went double dong last night. This A's team, get them out of the Oakland Coliseum. They can put up some runs. They're looking good. Going up against John Gray, as I alluded to, get these Texas Rangers. Any Rangers love? Any Athletics love? Talk to me, BJ.
The A's, I'm just really looking for 2-man. I mean, I could get behind a 3-man mini stack, but I just think you're hunting power here. Don't love how long Gray's going to be in the game. And that other side of the question is that I don't mind attacking him, but how long before they find the bullpen, right? He had 2 innings last time out. So I'm just kind of, looking for, the top of the order where they might get 2 at-bats. And that leads me to Brent Rooker, Leaders. If Blade ends up batting 3rd, which is, what's projected. I don't know if that lineup is out yet. I don't believe so.
I haven't seen that.
Butler. I'm good with any of these guys as a one-off, or if you wanted to sneak a mini in there. I like that, but no full stacks for me. And just hunting power. So Rooker's probably my favorite, followed by Langoliers. And then as far as the Texas side, I mean, we want to attack Sears, I would believe, in most of these, but nobody's hitting the ball well over the last 30 days, versus the lefties. And if we go to the current season, I mean, it's usual suspects up top, but there's just other spots I want to get to on this slate. So, I mean, a lefty Seager, but he's expensive. So they're not really on my stacking radar, but I could get behind a little one-off. Is this your last 2 spots in your lineup and you want to get a little bit different and hunt a home run?
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I mean, you said, and I misspoke. I said double dong. Hey, my guy Jake Swell, super sharp, always in here. Went triple dong, so I missed one of his dongs. Sorry, Mr. Butler. I know you're watching this show right now before the game, so I apologize to you about that. Next up on the slate is going to be, let's see, I got out of place, is going to be the Royals headed to Houston to take on Nolan Ryan and Framber Valdez and this Houston Astros team going up against Seth Lugo. Any love for these Royals? Vinny P on the shelf. Framber Valdez, goodness gracious, this guy has been out of this world over the last, month plus. He's up to 9,500. Big boy price tag on FanDuel as well, but Could get another 30 burger tonight, and you may need it. Talk to me about this game.
Yeah, as far as Royals bats goes, I mean, looking back at Valdez, I mean, 10, 10, 9, 9, 8 strikeouts. You know, he had 5 versus.
He's not even a strikeout pitcher, really, you know?
Yeah, that's what's interesting, right? And then you look at his projected lineup with Vinny on the shelf, and it's like, oh, wait a second here. Who am I scared of aside from Bobby Witt and Sal Perez? You know, so I don't mind either one of those one-offs. We know Bobby can, you know, drop a 30 burger on any day. But for me, I don't mind Valdez as my second pitcher of the day. So it's kind of, I'm shied away from all of these bats. Just looking at projected lineup here, I mean, some of these names, I mean, you know, Furman's going to bat 4 or 5 somewhere in there, and Blanco near the bottom, and Hampson. It just doesn't sound fun to roster any of these guys outside of Witt and Perez. And then going over to the Houston side, you know, we talked about Seth Lugo not really being a strikeout guy. I think on the year he's 20%, maybe 21. But these Astros are not striking out, you know, over the season, you know, top 4, top 6 batters. And you know, Yordan has been, you know, been playing unreal. I know he's kind of got some, you know, lulls every couple of weeks, but he's another guy that's got double and triple dong ability.
Triple dong the other night as well.
Yeah. So for me, not high on the stack radar. I don't mind, you know, Lugo kind of being that game management pitcher, but I wouldn't be mad at a 3-man or a 4-man stack. Top 4, top 6 batters here. We can always play Singleton, who's cheap at the bottom. He does strike out a little bit, but I know they're expensive, but I don't mind it. I wouldn't be mad if you decided to play some of these guys.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Would agree with you for sure. Moving on to the next game tonight would be the Mets, who I think are going to get some ownership. I know it's hard to get ownership, though, when you have Coors, when you have the Yankees, folks like that. But I like the Mets tonight against Jonathan Cannon. And then any Tyler McGill. It's tough to play these White Sox. And I know you saw this, BJ. We're assuming you did. It's like, the two things in the White Sox game the other night, when the catcher threw it down to second and it hit the guy in the face. Did you see that?
No, yeah, I saw, somebody told me about it. I haven't seen it, but
so you know how the catcher always throws it down to second base, like you know, after they're warming up. Well, he wasn't looking, and it just caroms, like hits him right square in the face. So that, and then like, yeah, and then they hit the walk-off home run, and Travis Jankowski just robs him, just like, and the announcer for Chicago was so funny, was like, "Oh, it's over! Oh, he brought it back." It was great. If you didn't watch it, but
yeah, I saw that the ex Padre Jankowski.
Yeah, exactly.
But
so
I did see that.
Any love for these White Sox? That's contrarian, you know, going up against McGill, or any love for these Mets?
No, I mean, we talked about this sometimes on the Wins show. There we go. You got me?
Yeah.
We talked about this sometimes on the Wednesday show with G Risen, especially on a 10-game slate. You know, what's a $3 entry? You know, if you got the bankroll, maybe you play it. I think on DraftKings it's an $11 tonight, but you have to be so different to win first place in some of these. You know, if the slate doesn't, you know, falter the way that you think it is. So I wouldn't mind kind of, I call it, you know, burning an entry. With the popularity of what we got at pitching, I wouldn't mind throwing a little 3-man, 4-man if you're getting crazy in a $1 or a $3, you know, just having a little sweat of exposure, because we have seen random, you know, once a month, twice a month, White Sox scoring some runs, but they just aren't on my list. I wouldn't be mad at you, like I said, burning an entry. But to get to the Mets side, these are these guys are some of my favorite bats on the slate. Leading off with really it's a top 6-7 batters, you know, a little bit of strikeout over the season. Let's look at the last 30 days. 30 days has been bad too versus right-handed bats striking out. But I mean, this is where I want exposure to Nemo, Lindor, Pete Alonso yesterday, I believe, Winker. This is where I'm going to, you know, absolutely have a stack at the lowest, have a 4-man stack, a 3-man stack. I like it. You know, we got Cannon on the bump, and then we have a really bad bullpen following up behind him. So I want to get exposure here and hopefully get off with this chalk that we're going to see in Coors and the Yankees. And I think the Guardians might have some exposure too. So So
Yeah.
I like them, and I'm going to load them up.
Yeah, I love the Mets tonight. They're kind of my favorite non-core stock. I like them. Like you said, that bullpen is bad, very bad. And then you're basically playing the lottery, right? If you play $11 and the White Sox hit, you're gonna have, that's gross to think. I don't think they'll get there. So no White Sox for me either tonight. Moving on to the next game, we got the Blue Jays, we got the Twins. Pablo Lopez going up against Kevin Gausman, who apparently can't strike anybody out anymore. Any love for any of those Twins? Any love for anybody on the Blue Jays, maybe as a one-off?
We'll start. Pablo Lopez is on my list just because of kind of price and exposure on the slate. But, I'm going to try my best not to get to him if I'm making 1 to 3 lineups. And I don't mind a couple of these bats. Over the season, over the last 30 days, Varsho, Vladdy, Springer, they seem to be all hitting the really well. So I don't mind, you want to get a mini or pick a one-off from those 3 guys. Really aside, from those names, I guess you could throw Spencer Horwitz in there, but just because he's cheap and has the multi-position eligibility on DraftKings. So I wouldn't mind you getting one, maybe those guys if you want to, play in a bunch of lineups, you want to get a mini or a 4-man. I don't mind it. I just find myself on the other side of the game, and hopefully we're right. As far as the Twins go, like you said, Gausman's not really striking out anybody. He's not walking either. He's kind of, being a game manager, if you will. For the season, he has given up almost 50% hard contact. But the Twins kind of fall into a bucket for me where they always kind of fall in versus a pitcher that you want to get stacks in. But, when you add in pinch hitting and all these different guys, and it's really tough for me to find full stacks that I'm comfortable with. So, they're going to throw out lefties. Those guys are going to have high opportunity of getting pinch hit for. So I don't mind playing a few of these guys, Willie Castro leading off or Larnach. I don't mind them, but Royce is just a touch too expensive for me in that kind of scenario too. But if you want to play, if you're playing a ton of lineups, I can see where you kind of get your 4 stacks going, but just not super high on my radar today. Like I said, with some of these other stacks that are available.
Yep. No, I would agree with you. Great breakdown right there. Better stacks available, in my opinion, as well. None too better, in my opinion, than tonight. We have the O's, the Orioles. They have over a 6 implied run total tonight, which is up there. And we also have the Rockies. They got over a 5 run total as well. You talked about the wind blowing out tonight, which it is. We got Austin Gomber, the southpaw. Hey, the Orioles do struggle more versus lefties than they do righties. They are pretty abysmal on the road versus lefties. Any interest, or not any interest? I know you have interest in the Orioles. Give me some Orioles, that are some of your higher Orioles. It looks like Emmanuel Rivera is in the projected lineup, former Marlin great in that lineup. I think he's a Marlin, might have been a D-backs. But anyway, what are your favorite Orioles? And give me some favorite Rockies as well.
Yeah, so before we get into that, I've talked about it before. I have no science to back it up, or no statistical analysis. It always feels like when these teams come into cores, especially ones that are good and that can hit the ball hard, it's almost like they're over swinging, right? And it's almost like the first game cores, they're so jacked up and they want to hit bombs and they want to hit them off the wall and, have, kind of boost the numbers, if you will. I always feel like those first games aren't as high scoring. So anytime that I see like a series, like take this past series with the Marlins and the Rockies, I think the first game was like 3-2 of the series, and they just exploded. They exploded every game after that. And I know bad teams, bad bullpen, but it's always kind of, something that I pay attention to if it's the first game in. Now that gets, kind of regulated a little bit with the wind going out and, this Rockies bullpen being used a lot over the last couple of days. So Orioles, they'll be popular. They are expensive. Obviously it's Gunnar. Obviously it's Santander. Austin Slater projected to lead off. He's 3K in Coors Field, so he's going to be extremely popular. Then you look at the bottom of this lineup, and like you said, you got Rivera. He's 2,800. So they're going to be popular, and I don't mind. You guys playing any of these guys. You just find your 1 or 2 positions you're going to get different on. But they are by far and away going to be the most popular, the easiest to click. And then we go to the Rockies side, and the Rockies have been playing, scoring runs over the last 3 or 4 days. And I always like those teams, as does everybody, looking at somebody that, a roster that's hitting the ball well. I wouldn't be mad at any of these guys, you know. In the projected, I see some names that I don't think so. Like, I'm not going to touch a Jake Cave. I know, you know, he let off the other night and ended up hurting me in that game. Charlie Blackmon, I don't want to touch. Those guys are for 5 years ago.
He let off with a bomb too the other night. Blackmon.
Yeah, yeah. But Doyle, McMahon, Rogers, you know, these guys all had great games the last couple of days. And I believe you're going to see such an ownership change because, like what you said, you brought it up when Suarez is 6,200 or what, I think he's 62 on DK. You know, people are going to want to get different at pitching. He won't get extra, but I think they stay away from some of these Rockies bats because it's so much more fun to click the Orioles side. So I'm hoping we get, you know, obviously a great, you know, environment always in court, but wind blowing out. I'm just going to kind of take, you know, 5 to 10% of a discount and play some of these Rockies bats.
Yeah, it should be high scoring. And yeah, I didn't play any Rockies or Marlins in game 2. And like I said, Blackmon led off with a bomb. Tovar hit the first of his 2. Right after that, it was a close the laptop type of night. After that, I knew I was done for when you don't have those guys. When it's 11-12, no, that was the night that it was like 9-8 and they scored 5 in the ninth. But anytime you get in 17 runs, they don't have any cores. It's a shut the laptop type of night. Moving on to the next game, we have those Mariners going into Los Angeles to take on Samuel Aldeguerri, as you alluded to, the southpaw, taking on these Mariners. Any Mariners love, any Angels love in this game tonight?
Yeah, so we'll start on the Mariners side. I feel like everybody that comes up from AAA at this point of the season, they all have some strikeout ability, but they all walk too much. There's no control. I think that's another night for this. You know, Mariners, you know, upgrading the park. You know, they're in LA, you know, for the weekend. Here we go. I don't mind this stack at all. Ranked top 5 for me. Kyle Raleigh, I mean, he's up top. It's one of my lists. I mean, I saw a stat earlier that he has the 3rd highest ISO in the MLB on the road. You know, so he's going to be on my list today. He might be, you know, somebody that I want to play in a home run ticket, whatever it may be. But they're going to be up in the list. You got Randy, Polanco even. But this is going to be a fun clip for me just because, you know, a guy that's going to walk, you know, above 12, 13%. You know, we haven't seen rookies come to the league this year and pitched well coming out of AA or AAA. So this just kind of falls into that stack where I don't think they're high on everybody's list because of the slate. And they're going to be on my list because they get, you know, a guy coming up from AAA that can strike out, but walks a lot. And we know when there's walks and we got a couple of these power bats up, you know, those slates can be dramatically changed with a couple of balls that go over the fence. So they're on my list for sure today in a top 5 stack.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I like the Mariners as well. No Angels love for me. Moving on to the next. We got 2 games left to go. We're breezing through these, BJ. We got the Dodgers going into Arizona to take on Zach Gallen. Should be a good real-life game. I don't have any interest in either stack. Just I think it's going to be a good old-fashioned playoff 4-3 type game. But maybe I'm missing something. Talk to me a little bit about this game. Any interest here?
No, I think you hit it on the head. If you're looking for a low-owned stack, there's obviously, because this game is so late, we don't have a Diamondbacks lineup. Relatively, though, guys are deep. You know they have some right-handed bats that can hit lefties well. I don't mind that. They've seen a lot of Kershaw. They got a lot of tape on Kershaw. He's been pitching against them for years. I don't mind them as a low-owned stack. Maybe a Josh Bell, you know, Grichuk, Perdomo. So I don't mind that as kind of a low own, but I think you hit the nail on the head. When you see, you know, these 2 teams, they're pretty tight. I think it's 3 or 4 games back for the division. Padres are out. So I know, you know, they're next in line. For the Dodgers side, you know, Tani at 7K, Mookie at 6. You know, as you know, the Dodgers are stackable every night, but at some of these prices with the guys that you want to play, it makes it really hard. And like I said, I think you hit the nail on the head. This is a 3-4, 4-3 kind of game, you know, getting ready for playoffs. And I think it's kind of a stay away from DFS, a few of these one-offs or a sneaky D-back stack.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It might be a sneaky D-backs. I don't hate that. And then, yeah, I mean, to me, the Dodgers, obviously you can play them, but it's similar to the Yankees. It's like it's virtually impossible to full stack them. They're just too expensive to do it. We got 1 game left. I don't have any interest in these offenses. I know you do in one of these teams. I think Blake Snell's in a great spot. First game out of Coors for the Marlins. and he gets a ballpark upgrade. And this Marlins team, I think, is pretty bad overall. Pretty bad against left-handed pitching too. So talk to me a little bit about this game. Any Blake Snell love? I know you like him, but any Giants love against this Aller kid?
Yeah, absolutely. To look at, he hasn't pitched I think it's 2 starts here this season. In those 2 starts, he has a 18.5% rate to lefties and a 17.4% total strikeout percentage. These Giants are cheap. You get the Marlins coming off, I think it was 4 games in Coors. I don't know why I think that. If I'm doing the math right, it was 4. So they automatically get the ballpark downgrade. What a change up to go from there to San Francisco. But I think this is a sneaky stack versus a guy that walks and doesn't strike out people. They're very affordable. You look at the top 5 batters here. Well, we'll throw Patrick Bailey in there for top 6. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, if Yastrzemski's in there in the 7 hole, I don't mind that either. So I think you can get whatever combo you want of the Giants to get a little sneaky. We're going to go to the last 30 days. The last 30 days, versus right-handed bats, Matt Chapman's, 415 WOBA, above a 300 ISO. Ramos is hitting 329 WOBA. Everybody's hitting above 300 in this top 5. And I just think they're affordable. I like the full stacks to get sneaky. I like the mini stacks to kind of pair with some of these chalky pitchers and chalky stacks if to get some cores, get some Yankees. So they're going to be on my list to kind of sneak under the radar here versus a guy that, can't strike anybody out and gives up free bases to batters.
You heard it here first. We got BJ calling the Giants. We think, Michael, it's going to be a fish fry. Hey, Nades always talks about a Friday night fish fry with those Marlins. So we'll see, BJ, if you're bringing them luck tonight as well. I think that'll do it for us. That's all 10 games. Ran through it in about 45 minutes. I appreciate you tuning in. Give me your top 3 stacks of the night, BJ, and then give me maybe one that's floating a little bit under the radar that you're going to have some interest in.
Yeah, so I'll kind of do one as Orioles and Rockies, right? Let's pretend we throw that out. It's going to be Mets for me after that, followed by Mariners and some Guardians. I think those are all 3 very, very close stacks. I think the most comfortable I am stacking would be the Guardians and the Mariners. And like I said, I got a low on 9 snack that might be able to make something happen tonight.
Yeah, I like that. And then we always give a home run call out of the day as well. Give me your favorite. I'm putting you on the spot. I did this the other day to G-Rise. Give me your favorite home run call of the day.
Cal Raleigh, third best ISO on the road of the MLB. So we're gonna go with him, and then I'll give you one more after you go.
All right, I'm gonna go a little off the board. I've been cold, so I'm gonna go a little bit off the board. I mentioned him earlier. He's batting 5th tonight. No one's gonna play him. He's gonna be sub 5%. I'm going Goldie. Let's go Goldilocks. Paul Goldschmidt, take Marcus Stroman deep into the left field seats tonight. Give me some Goldie tonight.
I love that. And just for from chalky and fun, if you're making a home run ticket, I know you're the king of those, so I won't get in the way of that. Molly DeSoto seems pretty juicy, so I'm gonna throw a couple of dollars on that and might make something happen with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was awesome. Good stuff, BJ. Appreciate you filling in for Nades. Everybody be safe out there. It's a long weekend. We'll be back with some form of content, definitely all through the weekend. I don't know what Monday is going to bring, but we'll have a show. We'll have a quick hit. We'll have something on Monday. Appreciate you tuning in as always. Stay safe out there. Enjoy your long weekend. Don't forget, NFL season 6 days away. My guys, Hoop, Title, and Tambo are going to be doing a show 1 o'clock Central, I believe. Or I'm sorry, 1 o'clock Eastern next week, doing the primetime show. I can't wait. NFL is so awesome. We love it over here at The Nation. Everybody does. And if you're not a member at The Nation, head on over, enter the promo code NFL50. That'll get you $50 off all annual packages. For my guy, BJ, I'm Ham. Have a good weekend. We'll see you over at The Nation. Let's ship it.
Obviously, I'm a part of the SHIPIT Nation